cats in your neighborhood. Healthier because we can prevent diseases like rabies, and fewer because all of the cats that we treat are also spayed and neutered. Cats are eligible for the program at 8 weeks old. Pasco County is a strong and growing community, and through our combined efforts, we can help save lives with 3 simple words. Leave them be.
For its abundance of preserves, parks, and conservation areas as varied and accommodating as you can imagine, Pasco County has earned a well-deserved reputation as an outdoor lover's paradise. Nearly a third of Pasco County is set aside for conservation to protect the land's natural resources and wildlife habitat, or as preserves where residents and visitors may experience firsthand nature's beauty and variety. Paddle through breathtaking coastal resources at Werner Boyce State Park. Pedal through miles of pine flatwoods at Starkey Wilderness Park. Camp deep in the woods at the Green Swamp. Or take a relaxing canoe trip on one of our 3 rivers. Pasco County's land preservation is an ongoing effort to protect ecological corridors connecting vital public lands. A portion of the Penny for Pasco sales tax is annually earmarked for use by the county's Environmental Lands Acquisition and Management Program, which ensures specified acreage stays protected from development and open for passive recreational use. In Pasco County, everyone pitches in to ensure thoughtful stewardship of the area's natural assets.
We believe in serving you by connecting offenders with programs to help them succeed.
We believe in serving you by helping residents get to where they're going.
Here at Florida Sports Coast, we believe in serving you by inspiring travel through in-depth storytelling that showcases the best our destination has to offer.
We believe in serving you by working hard to ensure that all of our Pasco pets get a loving home.
We believe in serving you
by providing excellent recreational and educational opportunities in your public parks.
We believe in serving you by improving the lives of Pasco County citizens through homeless initiatives, neighborhood revitalization, affordable housing, and community partnerships.
We believe in serving you by connecting people to available resources when they need a helping hand.
We believe in serving you by generating a positive economic impact that supports our local communities.
We believe in serving you by providing financial support and resources to veterans, seniors, and others.
We believe in serving you by protecting our people and pets.
We believe in serving you by providing the most timely, fact-based information possible with positive educational services in Pasco County.
We believe in serving you by protecting and conserving our wildlife, open spaces, and natural resources.
We believe in providing you a quality of life through our public services.
We believe in serving you by being an essential resource for discovery, connection, creation, and enjoyment.
Hi, Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator for Public Services. We believe in and want to thank this amazing team. We are proud and humbled to serve the citizens of Pasco County.
We believe in you.
Good morning. I wasn't watching the clock like everybody else was because I noticed y'all got quiet. So I'd like to call to order the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners for 10 o'clock meeting, January 9th, 2024. At this time, please silence all electronic devices and mute your microphones, please, for the stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence, and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. At this time, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey. Here. District 4, Commissioner Bradford.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Here. Before we start public comment, I would like to make a statement today. We have a quite cumbersome agenda, and I'd like to move things as quickly as possible. During public comment, please, no conversation back and forth between commissioners and the public. We will assign people to speak to them on their issues when necessary from the podium. So we have a busy day, and my time to get through is 3 o'clock, so I can't do that without the help of 4 of you. And I look forward to going through it, and we've been over all these informations prior to this meeting. At this time, it's time for public comment. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment for those persons that are present. We will take those that are pre-registered for a WebEx link and currently on queue. We request that when you address the board that you do not direct any personally against any commissioner and also team members. But this time, this provides mutual respect for the board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will indicate you have 1 minute left. When the time is up, 2 beeps will sound and you should close your comments. WebEx recipients will be disconnected automatically when the time is up. Okay, Madam Clerk, who is our first speaker?
We have a couple people signed up in person. We have, I'll list out the first 3. We have Craig and Joanne Pearson. If you could please come to the podium, followed by Richard Wiley and Gregory Smith. I do not see anybody moving for Craig and Joanne Pearson. Maybe outside? Okay.
Okay, I think they're with Roy Bajer.
Okay, Mr. Riley. There he is, I see him.
He's here.
Good morning. I'm Richard Riley. I live at 20235 Old Trilby Road, Dade City, in the community of Trilby, and part of the rural area. While the rest of us have been sleeping, the county has been planning to replace part of our protected northeast rural area with high-density suburban homes. Yes, we take this personally. We, the residents of Blanton, Trilby, Macucci, and the rural eastern quarter of our county. The history is that the rural area was designated in the 2005 comprehensive plan adopted in 2008 as a compromise to development of the area between Bellamy Brothers on the west, State Road 52 on the south. We agreed to let the development of the Pasadena Hills area south of Dade City in St. Leo, San Antonio, to be developed through a developer-based committee called the Villages of Pasadena Hills Financial Plan, in return for leaving the rural area alone. District 1 Commissioner Ted Schrader and County Manager John Gallagher were the driving forces behind designating these 2 areas. This grant agreement has worked very well for Pasadena Hills. It is being developed with a subcommittee of large landowners and developers as a part of District 1 with high-density development along Curly Road and Overpass Road. For our protected rural area, it has limited growth in this open area with few exceptions. When the committee was established to draw up commercial standards for the area, it was eliminated because it tried to limit commercial development. Now there is a plan to effectively eliminate the proposed rural area. It is hidden in a report to be presented this week called the Greater Lacoochee Community Plan. That's on the agenda. This plan was established to help the rural area develop with input from local residents. Consultants prepared a plan that urged the business and rural development in the area. But the plan also included the portion that designates the Trilby Hills, a rurally protected zoned area owned mostly by Evans Properties Incorporated. The Greater Lacoochee Community Plan follows several other initiatives over the last 20 years to create cohesive development. The new study covers approximately 11,288 acres and includes a portion of the northeast rural area and Trilby, Lacoochee, and Trilby communities. What concerns us is about 7,000 rural acres to the west of Trilby. The green spot, big green spot, number 1 on the map up here, number 3. It was seldom mentioned in public hearings and with the plan consultants in the formation of this plan, and only appeared in the final report that this has been submitted to the committee. Yes, they tried to ram this into the process of developing the county in contrast to prior promises for protection. Please direct the planning division to eliminate this high-density plan for the Trilby Hills, part of the Brooksville Ridge. The plan is nice as long as you do this. Take rid of the green part and keep the rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gregory Smith, followed by John and Beverly Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning. Name and address.
My name is Gregory Smith. My address is 12628 Pompanic Street, St. Leo. I'm also here to address the Greater Lacoochee Community Plan as a strange variant of the Northeast Pasco Rural Protected Area. I'll be brief. I've been involved with this group of people, dozens of people who have met individually and collectively with commissioners time after time after time over 20 years. The general message is pretty clear. Keep the rural area, the rural protected area, rural. The commission made a commitment to that effect in 2008. And if we haven't gotten the message through in that length of time, somebody's hard of hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
John and Beverly Williams, followed by Nancy Hazelwood.
I need a motion.
Move for receive and file.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Good morning. We're John and Beverly Williams from Universal Gifts in Hudson. We've worked in healthcare and medicine for 36 years before
Address?
retiring. Oh, address?
Yeah, state your full name and address, yeah.
John and Beverly Williams, 13825 US 19 Hudson is our business address.
Okay.
So we've worked in healthcare and medicine for 36 years before retiring, and we decided that helping people was in our blood. So we decided to open a holistic wellness center in Hudson 2 years ago called Universal Gifts. We love the community, but we've had a lot of issues with vandalism, graffiti, and garbage on our property. All our business neighbors have chain link fences surrounding their properties on all 4 sides of us. We hired Fence Outlet to install fence at the back of our property to help keep people out at night when we're not there.
After we had a murder happen behind our property on September 19th of this year, this past year.
We had a lot of issues with the homeless hanging out. It was an old bank building, so they love to hang out in the drive-through area, which is kind of protects from the elements. And the problem is they're always leaving a mess with human feces and urine and garbage. So we installed a fence protecting the back of our property. This fence
It's the same fence that everybody in the whole neighborhood has.
on all four sides of us. Day after we installed the fence, code enforcement stopped by and told us we needed to remove the fence because it was against the ordinance. Done a survey, and most of the businesses in the area have chain link fences to protect themselves. Our front of the building's gonna always remain open, so emergency vehicles can always get in the front, but the back gates will also have a keypad where the emergency vehicles can get in, if necessary, from the rear. So we ask that you please help us out, help us protect our tenants and our employees and property by changing the ordinance. The county is still installing chain link fences to protect the county properties.
We would like to be treated equally.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Nancy Hazelwood, followed by Craig and Joanne Pearson.
Nancy Hazelwood, 34110 A Nice Place. I have something to hand out.
Move to receive the file.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. I'm having a hard time believing the county
Name
is
and
taking
address.
so much. She did.
Oh, she said, okay. I
Before she
was worried about what she was handing in, so.
Stop that. You're taking my time.
I didn't recognize you, so.
That's my mustache. I am having a hard time believing the county is taking so much of the Northeast Rural Protected Area within the Lakuchi plan. I had no idea that the Lakuchi was so huge. And actually, the people living in that area don't realize they are living in Lakuchi. This appears to me to be just a land grab. And the county has already taken some areas in our plan. We've got a couple of cities in it. So what's going to be left? What's the hurry on this plan? It hasn't been to the planning board, actually. I mean, it was there for maybe 14 minutes, and they didn't get a chance to speak on it. So y'all did not receive their comments to help be advised on this. So I like the Lakichi part, the area around 301 and 98. I am hoping for a library, a job center created. If more housing is needed, there's plenty of room on 301 and 98 for those houses. The rest is why you should not approve this plan, as with the 100 acres that are in the Northeast Rural, hundreds of acres. They're disappearing it from the county maps and making it normal. So the county said the number one issue when we went to all the meetings was that they wanted to protect the rural lands. So how do you protect it? You put subdivisions on it? Come on, guys. So also, as Richard mentioned earlier, the Brooksville Ridge is there. Now over near Dade City, they've already taken down a couple of those hills about 20 to 25 feet. So they'll be able to do that over in this side of the county too. What are we going to have left of our beautiful county? The citizens did say they wanted everything protected. That was their one priority. So I'm hoping you can listen to that. We do not need this amount of density in our area. I would hope that if you're going to take from the Northeast Rural Area Plan, you would inform everybody in the Northeast Rural Area Plan that this is going to happen. We didn't know at those Lakuchi meetings that, hey, nobody said, we're going to take a great deal of your Northeast Rural Area Plan, we're just going to take it out of there. Well, why wasn't the rest of the Northeast Rural Area Plan told to the other people in that county area? It was just Lakuchi that got the message. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, I've been told that Craig and Joanne Pearson have discussed things with staff and they're going into a different direction, so they don't want to speak further.
Okay.
And I do have 2 people signed up on WebEx, but I don't know if you want to give one final call.
Yes. Anyone here would like to speak today on any item that you hadn't signed up for public comment? Come forward and state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Lisa Moretti. I respectfully decline to give my address because this is publicly broadcast and it puts my personal safety at risk.
I don't think that you can do that.
That goes. We got to have your address.
What did you say? She doesn't want to give her address, but we all have to give our address.
Yeah,
unless
we
you're
all do.
The only time you can't give your address is you're a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
You're exempt by state law to do that.
I would ask you to reconsider that in the future. 16331 Iola Woods Trail. I am
We're going to get your
amazed.
address?
She did.
She just gave it.
Oh,
just
I
did.
couldn't even hear what you were saying.
Bonus.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I was amazed to look at the agenda and see that you were being presented with the Lakuchi plan with a recommendation from staff to go ahead and approve moving it forward, when the Planning Commission unanimously asked you to bring it back to them. And I can't think of a bigger, giant GFY to your Planning Commission than to just override their unanimous decisions. So I hope that you will reconsider that recommendation from staff. I was also amazed the last time I was here with regard to Cherry Woods, I'm sorry, that you have a developer that signed an affidavit that she had advertised and signaged that area, and that there were no pictures submitted because they couldn't be. And that you went ahead and moved that forward, that staff decided that yes, that signed affidavit, which was illegally signed, was okay, that we didn't need to do the completed staff work that goes into development requests. That's disappointing. And third, as just a citizen, I was surprised to see that the speed limit signs by Sacred Heart School on St. Joe Road are all gone. It used to be that you had to slow down, and yeah, it was annoying, but you know what? There's little tiny kids there, and they're running around, and little tiny kids can be a little bit unpredictable. And so now, that's just the open speedway that it's always been, instead of reducing speeds to like 30, so that maybe if a kid got out, they'd survive a crash. And I can't understand why we've decided to make that a freeway game. So I appreciate your time. I hope you'll consider, especially on the Lakuchi plan, that doesn't need to move forward just yet, that hasn't had enough hearing, and that the citizens of all of Pasco have a right to speak to that. On behalf of the Pasco Communities Network, I know that we are going to be talking about this tomorrow, and that there is quite a bit of unrest about that plan moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, move on to WebEx.
We have Doris Carroll. Hold on just one moment. They're elevating you.
Hi, this is Doris Carroll. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. If you could state your name and address, and then you can proceed.
Thank you. Doris Carroll, 5244 Hawk Drive in Holiday. And I agree with Lisa Moretti. This is a time when we are facing a lot of threats, and I'm sure that the commissioners are, and other county officials as well. Please reconsider the use of addresses. We can give our address when we sign up. But I'm here to talk about the Ankle River Park development. I'm kind of concerned. I note that when the 10-year lease was passed on August 9th of 2022, the board memorandum states in the background section that the public on September 27th of 2021 at a properly noticed public meeting, the evaluation committee discussed and carefully considered the proposer's qualifications and experiences outlined in its proposal. I hope you have the document in front of you since I submitted it yesterday. In fact, and then it went on to say on October 1st of 2021 at a properly noticed public meeting. In fact, there are no such evidence of any advertisements or postings for those 2 dates. And I've done the research for that. I've talked to others. We can't find that. That's very concerning. And as a matter of fact, when you put items like these on the consent agenda, that gives really little notice, and I know that that's your practice and probably the whole state's practice, but my God, why can't we hear about these issues and talk about it before you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on moving this forward? And secondly, but more importantly, is the fact that I hope you saw the recent article in Tampa Bay Times about Pinellas, the county park there, Lee Park. They have decided to be respectful and honor indigenous peoples by shutting down in the next month or two the playground and the shelter, park shelter that's on burial mounds. Now, our county thinks that we have no burial mound at Ancopa Park. In fact, it's never been excavated. And just because you excavated the surrounding area does not mean that there isn't any possibility of human remains. Even if there aren't any human remains, this is still considered sacred land to the indigenous and should be respected as Pinellas is doing the right thing. I want
Okay, got one more.
Yes, I have Julia Sasha Bertunik. Hold on just one moment as we elevate you. All right, you are good to go. If you could state your name and address for the record, and then you may proceed. You are on mute. Ms. Bartonek, check your mute button.
Okay, there we are. Julia Sasha Bartonek, 2445 Meadowwood Drive, Newport, 34645. The Central Sierra Club Council Conservation Committee strongly opposes the destruction of the environmental jewel Anchor River Beach Park. This living shoreline has endangered species such as manatees, along with bald eagles, horseshoe crabs, and is an important estuary feeding supply for many species, including humans. The commercialization of the public property and its impacts to federal waterways is so egregious that the Tarpon Springs City Council has voted affected party status. This also violates our strategic plan goal number 1 to abate floodplain impacts and floodplain encroachments. Secondly, the Central Sierra Club Executive Committee has voted to stand in opposition to the Greater Lukuchi Plan. We stand with community members in supporting the Northeast Rural Protected Area. Thirdly, I would like to speak as an individual that burning, the clear cutting and burning of our carbon material at Newport Corners is really destructive. We really need to be mulching and recycling all the trees that are being clear cut and burned. Thank you for your attention to these matters. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, is that the
That's all
last
that
one?
I have on WebEx.
Okay, again, I'll ask before we close public comment, does anyone in the audience wish to speak? Okay, seeing no one, we'll move forward to, you got somebody? Where? Come forward. Don't want to forget you. Your voice needs to be heard, so.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Hannah West. I reside at 34701 Tranquilview Lane in Dade City. The Pasco County Planning Commission has requested additional time to review the Lakuchi project. I would hereby request that the Board of County Commissioners grant them that time prior to your voting on the project. Thank you.
Wait a minute. What project you're talking about with Lakuchi? Oh, the Lakuchi. There's no public comment. That's just a presentation.
Yeah, we're not.
I'll be making the comment. So, okay. All right. We will close public comment and then we'll move to Res 1. Madam Clerk.
All right. If you are here for Community Risk Reduction Week, please come to the podium. Sparky's here.
What's his name?
Sparky.
Sparky.
Oh, look.
Chief, you bring your kids Christmas presents here?
I didn't realize y'all were bringing the boss in today, so.
Well, that's cute. All right, I will go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution number 24-052, resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the week of January 15th through the 21st, 2024 as Community Risk Reduction Week in Pasco County. Whereas every 21 seconds, a fire department in the United States responds to a fire somewhere in the nation in 2022. And whereas fires nationally were responsible for 3,790 civilian deaths, and 72% of these fatalities in 2022 occurred in the home. And Pasco County Fire Rescue responded to 9 civilian deaths resulting from home fires in 2023. And whereas fires nationally were responsible for 13,250 civilian injuries, and 75% of these injuries in 2022 were also related to fires in the home. And Pasco County Fire Rescue responded to 33 civilian injuries resulting from home fires in 2023. And whereas an estimated $18 billion in property damage occurred nationally because of fires in 2022. And whereas Wildland and Urban Interface, WUI, related fires remain a concern nationwide with multi-billion-dollar losses as a result in 2022. And whereas the fire service responds to a growing number of medical calls for service, surpassing 80% of total call volume in some jurisdictions. And whereas Community Risk Reduction, CRR, is a data-informed process to identify and prioritize local risks, followed by integrated and strategic investment of resources to reduce their occurrence and impact. And whereas the value of community support from local, state, and national partners to address community risk is recognized to meet the demands of paid and volunteer members of the fire service. And whereas the goal of community risk reduction is to reduce the occurrence and impact of emergency events for both community members and emergency responders through deliberate action in the areas of the 5 E's of education, engineering, enforcement, emergency response, and economic incentive. And whereas most fire-related and many medical calls for services are preventable, with the 5 E's performed as part of the Integrated Community Risk Reduction Program. And whereas Monday, January 15th, 2024 is recognized as a National Day of Service and an opportunity for communities to reduce the risk in their community through a series of educational programs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares the week of January 15th through the 21st, 2024 as Community Risk Reduction Week in Pasco County to raise awareness of the importance of CRR in the fire service community and to make communities safer. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of January 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. I see we have two spokesmen out here in front of us, but I'm not real sure who's going to do the verbal part of this.
Good morning, Chair.
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, Madam Clerk, we appreciate your time. We just want to express our appreciation and gratitude for the continued support, not only by the board, county administration, our other county department stakeholders, building construction services, code enforcement, county attorney's office, as well as the community stakeholders that we partner. The idea and the thought process of Community Risk Reduction Week in relation to Fire Prevention Week, whereas it's not driven by NFPA specific to fire, we're looking at our local data and how we can make an impact locally. So our EMS data, the specific needs of the community in Pasco County to move towards a more resilient, safer community. The support of the team here, the men and women in the field, and your continued support will continue to grow towards a more resilient Pasco, and hopefully have an impact on the risks locally to what we're dealing with in Pasco. So we appreciate your continued support, that of Chief Perez and his leadership and his continued devotion to our Bureau and what we're doing. We're getting there. Our local data that we're using in Pasco County is also supporting and showing reduction in calls, instances, durations, fire loss. And we're doing it. We appreciate it.
Yep. We certainly appreciate all that y'all do, your entire staff and everybody. I mean, a lot of you are here, but there's a lot more of you out there. So we certainly appreciate all that you do for our county and helping of our citizens. Anyone else want to speak?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
What poor firefighter did you get to put in that uniform? Because I know it's not a chief.
Chairman Bradford, they were arm wrestling to who was going to be in character today. So,
good job,
thankful.
Man. Good job,
Sparky. Sparky and Andy the ambulance. It's two tools that our public education unit can engage our community, from adult senior citizens to the children in the schools and the daycares. We capture their attention span when we introduce something like this, and all of this was supported through ordinance citations and punitive damages. So none of this was taken out of the tax base and public funded. It was all in response to people that we held in compliance, and they are helping disseminate our message in other areas and options. So.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Gentlemen, thank you for your great service. I think it's great to have this hype. I think it'll go great, especially with the kids. So keep up the great work. Thank you for all you do.
So if the rest of the board will stand up here, because there's a few people out there that's got to stand back up here. And I'll go down and present the certificate. So.
Hey, good to see you.
I forgot I was supposed to listen to this YouTube.
It's winking at you, Jack. So,
Find a spot so you can see the camera.
I was going to say.
That's fine for me.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't want your face covered.
Oh. You know, I was looking at a picture the other day and I'm like this, and my head's like that. You're like a floating head. You can see my forehead peeking out or something.
Okay, folks, right here, please. Looks good. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We always have something. Kids are gonna love that little thing.
Oh my gosh, some count moves.
Oh, I couldn't see, I could see the eyes moving, but I couldn't see much.
I'm going to put you in contact with a guy who's got a great program with firefighters.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Meatloaf soup.
Yes, Tony. Anything I can do at any time? Step to the phone. Kevin and I are looking forward to going to dinner with your wife.
Okay, we'll move on to Res 2.
All right, if you are here for Arbor Day, please step to the podium. Good morning. I will go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution number 24-051, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring January 19th, 2024 as Arbor Day in Pasco County. Whereas Arbor Day was first observed in 1872 with the planting of over 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Florida has celebrated Arbor Day on the third Friday in January since 1886, and whereas trees are important in that they remove CO2 and pollutants, therefore reducing the heat island effect. Trees also preserve soil by decreasing stormwater runoff and provide shade and shelter for many animals. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and to beautify our community. And whereas trees in our county increase property values and enhance the vitality of our county's business areas. And whereas the steps we can take to protect and preserve our natural environment through education, partnerships, and positive actions should be encouraged in Pasco County. And whereas the citizens, staff, and elected officials of Pasco County are committed not only to the protection and preservation of our trees, but also planting additional ones. And whereas Pasco County created a collaborative team managed by the Planning and Development Department to strategically remove and implement the tree management plan for Pasco County, which will increase efficiency by maximizing resources and reducing duplicative efforts to plant and maintain trees. And whereas in its mission to keep Pasco beautiful, to improve Pasco County by engaging the community in sustainable efforts to reduce litter, promote waste reduction, and encourage beautification. And whereas there will be tree distributions throughout the month of January in East and West Pasco County where citizens can receive a native tree to plant. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares January 19th, 2024 as Arbor Day in Pasco County and encourages all Pasco County citizens to join in efforts to plant and preserve trees in all its diversity. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of January, 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
So this one's mine.
Okay, this is yours.
I'm very excited to bring this back. There was a time when we used to do more on Arbor Day. I don't even think we've celebrated since I've been commissioner, but I don't know about you, but when I drive by and I see all those trees getting knocked down, it's very difficult. So we understand development comes here, but my husband always says when you knock it down, you can always replace. So I think it's really important for the county to be putting its tree canopy back in place, and first even finding out what our tree canopy looks like. So these guys have some wonderful work going on. I don't know if you've met with the team that's working on this, but I would love for you to talk to the commission about the work that you're doing, and I'm very excited about our kickoff on putting trees back in Pasco County. So
Sure. My name is Kristen King. I'm a planner in long-range planning, and I'm very fortunate. Commissioner Starkey has been amazing and very supportive of the trees in Pasco County, as I think we all know. We have an amazing staff in Pasco County that truly cares about our community, that cares about the trees and the environment all around us. So what we've managed to do, myself and Mike Woodard, who is our county arborist, he's like the true hero here today. We put together a group of people within the county to actually look at all the different aspects of our different departments that are touching trees, whether it has to do with permitting, whether it's dealing with parks, whether it's dealing with public works. We're looking at going after grants, but first we're actually trying to look at our tree canopy, doing a tree canopy study, doing a potential tree inventory so that we can look at this from a strategic approach of what we currently have and then where we need to go. So we've created what I call our tree dream team, and we're gonna do wonderful things with the support of you all and the support of our staff as well. So I appreciate it very much. We do have also partnered with Keep Pasco Beautiful, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, but they also have a staff person in Pasco County as well, along with Covanta Pasco. And on Arbor Day, we are doing a tree giveaway. We are having people pre-register through Keep Pasco Beautiful website so that we have a seamless process. So if you go to keeppascobeautiful.org, we will be doing a tree distribution at Aloha Gardens Park in Holiday, along with the one-stop shop in Dade City on January 19th. So thank you again for all of your support.
So I will need a motion because I've asked the county administrator to match the donation from Keep Pasco Beautiful so that we can give out, I think it's a total of 100 trees, be 50 trees over here, 50 trees over there. I hope this will grow, but I would make a motion to approve the county administrator taking 1,000. Why are we taking it from the tree mitigation trust fund? Because you asked me to do it from the general fund, and that's not necessary.
Start with the general fund, and we'll figure it out. It's $1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, really should come from the tree mitigation trust fund. That's what it's for.
Okay, so that's your motion.
That's my motion.
Second with discussion.
Coming from Mr. Bradford.
Absolutely.
And you want to speak? Because I'd like to speak to it.
Just want to support my
Yes,
fellow
it's very important. Yes, sir. I would like to speak because I have mentioned to developers, because it seems like a development always comes in and the first thing they do is clear the lot. I mean, whether that lot's 100 acres or it's 40 acres or whatever, I've asked several developers that come before me that buffer area of 150 feet or 100 feet, if there's a 50 or 100-year-old tree, please leave those trees in that buffering area, which shouldn't affect the rest of your property. Now, if it's some low areas they got to fix because of elevations thing, I understand. But if at all possible, leave the trees around the development. It's something we need to keep in our county, and because 100-year and 50-year-old trees are very important. So, I mean, oak tree that's this big around.
Got to value it more.
Is 50 years old. So, I planted some back in '73, and they're 50 years old now at the Chapel Hill Cemetery. And those trees are now 50 years old because I planted them in 1973. So it's important to keep those. It's out south of town. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I share the sentiment of Commissioner Starkey and Chair Oakley. It pains me when you see us knock down these grandfather oaks, and you're talking 3-4 generations until they come back. If there's a way to devise a plan that all parties can agree with instead of planting, well, I agree with planting new trees. Again, you're 3-4 generations.
Crepe myrtle, oak tree.
Of folks until that tree's come back. I think our historic trees are worth saving. I think Commissioner Starkey and I have had some minimal discussion about this in the past, but oak trees are important. They're a piece of Pasco's identity. They make our roadways, a pleasure to drive on, and if there's a way to mitigate knocking down, what Commissioner Oakley described, I'd be fully supportive of that. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Mariano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Starkey, I'm glad you brought up the tree mitigation fund. I think if we can actually use that fund, that I wouldn't even mind going up to 10 grand.
That's where it should come from. I want to let you know, I've also had discussion, I can't remember if it's from here or with my meetings with the administrator or staff, that we haven't looked at the valuation of the trees when we let developers clear. You know, there's a certain cost per inch that they have to pay into the fund, and we haven't raised that since we did that 20 years ago. When did we set that up? So I definitely want us to take a look at that again. Also, in my staff, we're doing a little bit of research in other counties. And I think Roy has also told me some of this, that other counties put a lot more value on their grand oaks than we do. And so I think some trees need some special consideration. A longtime resident on this side of the county told me their friend sold some property to a developer. It was on top of a mountain. And they came in and they took out the grand oaks. You don't have to fill on top of a mountain. So what you need to do in that instance is design your property around the trees. There's, you know, so if we don't put those rules in place, then shame on us, it's gonna happen. So I'm hopeful that we'll work on protecting what makes this, part of what makes this county so beautiful. And I hope that we move to getting even more trees given out, and just we start taking the money that's been paid into the Tree Mitigation Trust Fund and planting more trees around the county.
Right.
Well, and just so you know, too, that our ACA, Mr. Mazur, he has told us that he wants us to look at that 802 ordinance. So we are reviewing that with staff. We're looking at that with our director as well, and trying to see what we can do to look at those fees and look at the classifications and evaluations as well. So staff does hear you, and we hear the community, and we are working on that now.
So I believe an oak tree supports 500 different species, and a crepe myrtle I don't think supports anything. Palm trees, maybe a few. Also, when you shade, and it doesn't have to be oak trees, when you shade your property, it's 15% reduction in the temperature. When you shade parking lots, the asphalt is much cooler, and it doesn't give all these emissions into the air and make poor air quality. When you put shade on sidewalks and trails, people use them, but not a lot of people are going to go out in Florida and exercise, and especially as we're aging, prefer to walk on a shaded sidewalk or trail. So also when it rains, the water goes down the roots and goes down into the ground and back into the aquifer, and it's a natural filtration, so it's much better for our water quality. There's just a million reasons why it's good to make sure we protect our tree canopy.
Okay. You want to go down and make a
Yeah,
presentation? We'll just stand.
All right,
we'll
let's
stay
go
here.
down and hand these out. Oh, let's vote.
Oh,
Thank you.
I thought we did that.
Well, you didn't call the question.
I made a motion, we had a second.
We had a
Okay.
second, but we need to call the question.
Oh, question. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, like sign? Motion passed. Thank you.
There we go.
You guys staying up?
Yep.
Okay.
Roy's jumping.
And thank you to Covanza for being a sponsor for such a long time. Roy, you want one? Mike? Here.
All right, everybody, right here, please. Looks good. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to R3.
If you are here for National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, please step to the podium.
Oh, you brought a whole crowd with you there.
Almost everyone's in blue.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, that's the day.
I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution number 24-046, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the month of January as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month and January 11th, 2024 as National Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Pasco County. Whereas human trafficking is a crime against a person whereby through exploitation an individual is compelled to work or engage in a commercial sex act through force, fraud, or coercion, thereby being stripped of their rights and humanity. Traffickers typically use multiple means to control their victims, including beatings, rape, isolation, forced drug alcohol dependency, withholding of documentation, and psychological and emotional abuse. And whereas the International Labor Organization conservatively estimates that there are over 49.6 million victims of human trafficking worldwide, and that this crime is second only to the illegal drug trade in terms of the speed of its growth and the profits that it generates, as human beings can be sold repeatedly. And whereas human trafficking has been reported in all 50 states, Florida consistently ranks third in the nation in both the number of calls made to the National Human Trafficking Hotline and the number of cases identified. In Florida, in 2021, there were 781 identified cases of trafficking involving 1,253 victims, with 151 being children. And whereas human trafficking is occurring in Pasco County. Through the Pasco County Commission on Human Trafficking, our community has united to combat this horrific crime and restore dignity to survivors by bringing together the sectors deemed critical to effectively combat human trafficking, such as law enforcement, schools, child welfare, nonprofits, businesses, faith-based organizations, survivors, and more. And whereas despite these dedicated local efforts, more awareness, education, and advocacy are needed to eradicate human trafficking. Every resident of Pasco County is called upon to declare that the exploitation of people for profit has no place in our world, and that we need to work together to restore freedom, dignity, and justice to all. And whereas January is annually declared as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and January 11th as National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares January 2024 as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month in Pasco County, Florida, and that all citizens are encouraged to participate in education, awareness, advocacy, and prevention efforts to combat human trafficking. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of January 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against, like sign.
Yep.
Motion passed, 5-0. Welcome, guys.
Good morning, members of the board. Brian Hoban, Director of Community Services. Just wanted to take a minute to thank you all for your continued support for the Commission on Human Trafficking. They do phenomenal work in the community, mainly prevention and educational services. We're really proud that in 2024, one of our major goals is to make sure that some of that education comes back to Pasco County government, and we're going to start a campaign to make sure that there's an opportunity to bring that educational component to every team member here at the county. Also want to take a minute to thank Tracy Toner. She is our misdemeanor probation manager and our county liaison with the coalition, and want to introduce Liana Dean, the chairperson, so she can say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for recognizing that January is National Human Trafficking Prevention Month. We really appreciate that. We want to thank you for your continued support. I don't know if you guys are aware, but September 2024, the Commission will have been in existence for 10 years. So we were the first commission established in the state of Florida. We've been looked to for guidance, not only in the region, but around the state. And we could not do the work that we've done without you. So I just wanted to take a minute and kind of highlight some of the important things that we've done over the last decade. We've trained close to 15,000 people. That's a conservative estimate, both here in the county and around the state of Florida. Some of us have also spoken nationally. Alan advises state and national leaders about the issue of human trafficking. We've also made an estimated estimated 6 million impressions with the campaigns that we've put together, and not just in Pasco County, but in the Tampa Bay region. And our in-person events and things that we've done have reached thousands of people as well. So I feel like we've really made an impact over the last decade. We were the first county in the state of Florida to get human trafficking curricula into all of Pasco County schools. That was huge before the state mandated it. We got calls from all over the state of Florida. How did you all do that? So I feel like the things that we've been able to accomplish have really positioned us as a leader in the state of Florida when it comes to addressing human trafficking and preventing it. This last year alone, we worked with a group of students, Teens Battle Human Trafficking, from high school here in Pasco, and we created 3 public service announcements, which you hopefully will see on television, on NBC and ABC here in the next month. And that is messaging that the kids put together. They were so concerned about the messaging that they were receiving on social media, the things that they were bombarded with, the attempts to recruit them, the attempts to groom them, that they wanted to address it. So those public service announcements were made in partnership with Digital Lightbridge and will be out on television here in the next few weeks. We are also educating RV parks in Pasco County. We touched every RV park in the county and gave them information and education about human trafficking. So that was another big initiative that we did last year. We partnered with Go Pasco to put information on all the buses in Pasco County, not just for the general public, but to reach potential victims as well. So those just highlight some of the things that we've done. We worked with law enforcement, all 5 law enforcement agencies, to get information out. We hope to partner with Fire Rescue to launch the same campaign. And I have the privilege of just introducing our survivor representative, Laura Henderson. She is with One More Child, and she's actually been invited to speak at a state press conference up in Tallahassee next week as a survivor to give advice and guidance at the state level. So I'm just going to hand the floor to Laura for just a moment so she can share with you what we have planned for 2024. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Laura Henderson, and as the survivor representative and vice chair, it is my honor and privilege to share with you the plans that the Pasco County Commission on Human Trafficking has for the year 2024. We plan to train all 3,300 county staff on human trafficking and provide them with a wallet-sized card that outlines indicators and red flags, as well as how to report. County staff will also be provided with materials on how to seek help that they can give to potential victims they may encounter. We plan to promote the 3 public service announcements created for youth by the group Teens Battle Human Trafficking. These PSAs will be on TV, streaming, and on social media as well. We plan to host an event with the Free Network in order to engage businesses in Pasco County, to partner with Pasco Fire Rescue to create awareness materials, create a mailer that can be sent out to households across Pasco County, partner with the USF Advocacy Lab and Trafficking in Persons Lab to further regional anti-trafficking efforts, as well as taking steps to address labor trafficking. And I also want to thank you so much for your ongoing support in the work that you do. It is very much appreciated. We could not do all of this without you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bradford?
Mr. Chair, I got a few comments. As a former law enforcement officer, I'm extremely proud to put this resolution forward. The work the Pasco County Commission on Human Trafficking does toward educating not only individuals, but entire organizations is hugely important, and I thank you for your efforts. This month, I urge everyone to learn how to identify the signs of human trafficking and report potential illegal activity to their local and state law enforcement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nikki?
Thank you. I'm really excited that you're here. This is such an important topic. As the clerk of circuit court, this is something that my team sees every day, day in and day out. Last year, Attorney General Ashley Moody put out the call for being part of the 100% Club, which is a proactive way of getting training for all employees. So my office is in part of the 100% Club. I would love to continue that training. So if you have a business card that you can give me before you leave, I would appreciate that. I'd like to continue that. I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. I know that January 11th is the day that we are going to have awareness for human trafficking. I see you all in blue. That is the color to support it. And my office will be wearing blue on that day, and I think that'd be great if all our local partners could remember to wear blue on January 11th as well. But thank you for the work you do. It is so critical and so important. It is sad that this happens in our community and happens in our state, in our country, and the world, and we're going to help you get that word out so that we can help put a stop to human trafficking. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for all the work you do and the awareness you bring to human trafficking. And I'm so proud of our county being first in so many ways on this topic. And I just want to shout out to our survivor. Thank you so much for the courage to come forward. I know that's not easy, but I think it's firsthand testimonies and participation by survivors that really make this really resonate in everyone. So I just thank you for your courage. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'd like to thank you all as well. Congratulations on your survival and the leadership you're showing now to help others get out of that situation and educate others as well. So thanks for all the great work you're doing.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, last year we had a horrible incident where a minor was trafficked through the adult businesses in our county and more in Central Florida, and working with our state legislature, and I think this board was pretty unanimous in finding a way to reel in, those activities. It'd be nice, I don't know if we can require it, but the literature that you all have, be bold and go to the novelty stores and the adult establishments and have to, put your information up on the wall, like workers' comp flyers in businesses. That way, if folks are in there, they can see it, and it keeps it on people's mind. So, you guys are being bold in what you do, and we're here to support you. So thank you for doing very difficult and probably uncomfortable work at times. Proud of what you're doing.
Okay. I don't know, guys. Y'all continue making headway on newer and better ways to take care of these issues. I spent my first 6 years as a commissioner with your committee and your group, so I remember Alan going out to teach and go to different schools and all to teach, and all the awareness. And you not only made us proud here in Pasco County, but actually in Florida. And a lot of people don't realize that you are nationally known also because of all the good work you've done in the past, and you continue to do so. So I certainly appreciate everything y'all have done, and we look there, and I'm here, and I'm sure the rest of the board are here to help you any way we can for the future. So we'd be more than happy to help you. So if Mr. Bradford would go down and present the resolution, and we'll stay up here on the dais.
I got my big heels on today. I got big heels on today. I'm as tall as you.
I brought my puppy with me today.
See me.
We can skip to the
Before we start, I just want to say, it's never a good age to break your chemo.
Everybody right here, please. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
I was doing the man thing.
next order of business is the consent agenda. I have a pull sheet that has C31 withdrawn, C35 withdrawn, C36 withdrawn, and C16 pull and revise. Is there any other items that the board wishes to pull at this time? If not, I will entertain a motion for those remaining items on the consent agenda.
Move approval of the remaining consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed unanimously. Okay, again, we'll go through the C31's withdrawn, C35 withdrawn, C36 withdrawn, C16 pull and revise. Yes, sir.
Good morning. I'm Nolan Ristow. I'm a emergency coordinator with Pasco County Emergency Management. C16 was pulled and revised to include authorizing the chairman to execute attachments I and K of the grant agreement with no other changes. So we recommend the approval of the item with the revised changes.
Okay.
Move approval of C16.
Second.
Got a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just for the clerk's purposes,
Okay.
Your initial motion of the consent agenda approved C140, which was on your addendum as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're good there? All right. Now, we have 6 regular items.
Can I say something real quick on that Mental Lakes elderly kitchen to the administrator? Needs a sidewalk
Yes?
along Wisteria Lane, or loop, or whatever they call it.
I think that nod means he's understanding you. Okay. We will move forward to, let me pull it up here.
R45. Greater
R45. Mr. Pitos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Charles Pitos, Planning and Development Department. Today I'm going to present the Greater Lukuchi Community Plan. The Greater Lukuchi Community Plan was initiated by the Board of County Commissioners on August 10 of 2021, and PDD was requested to prepare a non-binding concept plan for the Greater Lukuchi area that included the tri-community area of Trilby, Lukuchi, and Trillakuchi. And the plan itself was a community-led effort that lasted about 1 year with multiple workshops across the area. And the purpose of today's presentation is basically share high-level results of the non-binding concept plan. But before I get into the presentation itself, I just wanted to make a quick note that the plan as a non-binding concept plan was to be brought back as a discussion item to the Planning Commission as part of the scope that was approved by the Board of County Commissioners back in 2022. That occurred in October, where input was received from the Planning Commission, and this plan was originally slated to be presented to the board on November 14th, but due to a large agenda, it was moved to today. At the December 7, 2023 Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission motioned unanimously to request the BCC consider sending the Greater Lukuchi Community Plan back to the Planning Commission for another presentation and to gather public comment, though that was not necessarily part of the scope of work for the non-binding concept plan that we're presenting today. Nevertheless, I wanted to bring that up to the board in the event that the board wanted to send this back to the Planning Commission and save the presentation for any additional feedback.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'm comfortable sending it back to the planning commission for
Same.
another look at it.
They asked for it.
No, well, let me make my comments and then you decide whether you want to do that or not. But you got a plan here you're going to send back for them to discuss that's a non-binding plan. In other words, I'm not here today to vote to approve a non-binding plan, and I'm not here to request any of y'all to approve or, what's the other word for it? For this, but I have comments toward it, and I'll go through those, and then after that, I think you'll understand where it needs to go, and I want to send it back to staff, and I want to send it through Mike Kabbalah and his group with long-range planning to really look this over, and I've got ideas of what it should be. So I'll start with,
Mr. Chairman?
I'd like to thank, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to do the
Yeah,
presentation?
go ahead and present that, and then I'll make my comments.
So this is the location map for where the Greater Lakuchi community area is. It's essentially in this upper northeast area. It's not the entirety of the northeast rural area. It's only a portion in that northern fin, if you will, of the county. This is the area in question that was studied. It's essentially the Hernando County line along the north and along the west. This is a line that is essentially parallel to Christian Road on the south, straight across. And of course, on the east side, you have the boundaries of the Green Swamp forming up the Greater Lakuchi community area. So we held 3 public workshops over a course of a 6-month period between August of 2022 and March of 23. And what was developed were 67 strategies that categorized and prioritized the community feedback that we received. The plan is organized in 3 major focus areas: community investments, economic stability, and organization and collaboration. And the first set of strategies identify investments intended to improve or expand key public facilities, services, and programs within the study area. And the second set of strategies that are organized in the plan involve county staff taking action to revise certain documents like the comprehensive plan, land development code, and to essentially establish incentives within the study area itself. And those all come through in the 3 focus areas that the plan includes. The action plan framework is fairly straightforward: community investments, economic stability, organization and collaboration. It identifies potential timeframes, the estimated costs associated with the various strategies, as well as the potential partners that planning and development, but then also other county departments would have to coordinate and collaborate in bringing forth the strategies for the community. This is a timeline, a draft, not a draft, but a proposed timeline that the draft plan has suggested. We don't have to stick to this timeline, but it is the suggestion of the community as well as the consultants to essentially pick some of these major strategies that the plan identifies and try to work them out, low-hanging fruit first, middle-hanging fruit second, and higher-hanging fruit last. And some of that has to do with the coordination that's required. Also, some of it has to do with the costs associated with some of these ideas. And then finally, this is the Greater Lakuchi Community Plan Vision Map. There are some general land use ideas presented in the vision plan. This is a vision plan, so there's not a lot of articulation associated with that. It is a non-binding concept plan, and one of the things that we understood as we were developing the plan itself is that much of the detail and articulation that's going to come out of the vision here is going to be expressed in the comprehensive plan update itself, which is actually being written this year and hopefully will be presented to the board in 2025. And so this is the general plan identifying historic nodes within the Lakuchi area itself, which is represented by these dotted lines here. and then potential redevelopment, both in terms of the historic core and some areas north of the historic core, as well as identifying potential catalyst projects along the western portions of the area that will help service the eastern, the initiatives for the eastern area as well. And with that high-level briefing to the Board of County Commissioners about the non-binding concept plan, we would recommend acceptance of the non-binding concept plan so that would conclude the scope that the board gave to us in August of 2021.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. I want to take this time to thank the local community, the property owners and planning staff for providing input to this planning process. A lot of people probably do not think that I was for the Northeast Rural Preservation Plan, and basically I was for it, but I was against the fact that every time we tried to do something in and around and close to it, the answer was no. And I don't like the answer no. I like to work out things and have them be the right thing for the Northeast Rural Plan. So, so that's why I'm here today to ask you that we not accept it, but we go through it and we send it back to staff to make it right. And I have the right answers here to make it the right thing to be doing. My vision came after I had put together an advisory board to look at the rural plan to get answers to different areas of the rural plan, and it be progressive, that it moves forward and we get the right things done in the right areas for around like Blanton and other areas that we could work out around Lacoochee and Trilby and those things. The fact of it is, this board did away with that advisory board because after 2 meetings, all we got from the advisory board was the answer no. And that's no answer. You have to agree and work together to get the right thing. And so with that, I'd like to address I wanted the Northeast Rural Plan to address the unmet needs of Trilby, Lacoochee, Trilacoochee community, including the delivery of community retail amenities anchored by a food market. That's what is needed in that area for the people that live in our rural area. And this is all in my district. Provide transitional rural residential buffering in response to Hernando County's high-density I-75 State Road 50 planning area to the north and the planned development area of the west. Hernando County has established planned development surrounding this area west of Lockhart Road and north of Powerline Road. So I would like the planning board or planning group, staff, long-range planning, under the direction of Roy Major and also Mr. Cavallo, to work within the framework of the adopted rural plan for this area not to exceed 1 dwelling unit per gross acre defined as rural transition area. And that is a rural designation for that area. Provide an area of the county for executive single-family housing, close proximity to the rapidly developing employment generating State Road 52 extending from Central Pasco Employment Village to Murata, including Double Branch, Abbey Crossing, and I-75 Gateway. So I would like to challenge you, rather than us accept or approve or send it back somewhere, it's a non-binding plan. I don't want to spend any time, or anybody's time, that'd be wasteful. But if you follow these guidelines, then I think we'll get the plan we need and it fits for our rural area. And it's not urbanization, it's not a suburb or anything of that nature, but it is a rural classification, 1 house per acre. So, okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
If I could make some suggestions. I think we do have to be very cognizant of what's going on up in Hernando County. When this plan was being developed and the whole thing way back in 2006, I believe it was, I cautioned the county to look at the whole border all the way on the north side, all the way across. That if Hernando's going to go dense, we'd be crazy not to try to pick up on the density too on our south side. Not having to go down far, but we should be taking a close look at that where we can complement what they're doing. That would provide jobs instead of going south or east or west. They can just go north and get there. I think the top priority that we should try to do is get an economic catalyst, and there's two of them that I think that are out there. One of them is CSX line spur. Let's go try to find something, go find some person, some company that wants to come in there, and let's go develop that. If you develop that, you can create the jobs that are in the area. That'll keep the people that are right there where they can work right in the area, which is, I think, the biggest benefit and best potential we have going all the way through. That line runs up from 301, hits the rest of the nation, so it's a very, very important line. It's a great opportunity. I'd love to see something really focused on that. Demographics is big. If you get the right demographics in an area, better business will come. It would make sense for a grocery store if you had people could shop there, that could afford to spend money there and go in. It could help us provide. To just go build a grocery store that can't be supported by it is a difficult move, because it's going to be tough to get someone in there and tough for them to survive. So the jobs is critical. The part that, as our speaker this morning showed, Richard Riley on section 3, where he took out that development, from what I heard about the development, it was going to be large sites, acres or better, that are up there, and a golf course up there as well, potentially could happen. That's the type of thing that could actually help spur that area a little bit better without impeding great growth patterns around that would sprawl out. So I appreciate everything you've said, but I'd like my comments to that as well.
So you'll know, a lot of what you've talked about is already planned and is already coming. We have 2 businesses in Lacoochee right now. We have a third coming, and that third is coming, bought another property up there that's going to expand, and that's around the rail. So we plan on using that rail, but it's not out to the west. This is right in Lacoochee, Trail Beach, that area. Warehousing and all that is part of that plan around that tri-community there of Trail Lacoochee and Lacoochee. They've been held back for 64 years since they shut down the mill at Cummers, to the fact that it is a poor area, and we want to grow that back. And we're doing that with businesses around the rail, around 4-lane roads 98 and 301 coming in, but we're not going to do urban or suburban out in that area. The true transition into a rural area is 1-for-1, and that's what it should be. You ride out there, you shouldn't see subdivision out in the middle of our rural area. So, yes.
And we have our hands up over here when you're done with hands up over there. At least I do.
Who's that?
Okay.
Mr. Waitman.
Thanks, Sheriff. I tend to agree with more along the lines of Commissioner Oakley and the way he described the business report that needs to occur there. You know, if Hernando wants to build what we have in South Area 54, 56, go ahead. I think that we can differentiate ourselves by having acre plus 1, 5, 10 acre lot sizes and allow folks to live a different lifestyle. They want to live in Pasco and live in a dense area. There's plenty of opportunity and locations for those folks to live. So I think that we have a plan for 20 years in rural advisory designation, and I think we need to uphold our commitment to the folks that have been involved with that over this period of time. And so just general comments, and curious to see what Planning Commission has to say, but I don't think we need to erode away all the work that's been done and the plan that's been developed today. So thank you.
The problem with it going back and send a non-binding plan back to a planning commission that's going to critique something that's not binding doesn't do anyone any good. It really doesn't. Now, when this comes back and is done the right way, like it should be in the rural area and protects that rural area, and let me tell you something, executive housing in that area is going to be great. There's plenty of people that want larger lots than 40 foot, I can tell you, many of them. And they deserve to have that. And that rural area needs to stay with that type of housing rather than, if you look back in and around Dade City and also in Zephyr Hills around the outskirts, there's acre lots, a lot of acre lots, houses on acre lots that was done way back. So that was a way of having things and have more space, but people want that. There's a value in that, more than what you think, because there's, I mean, areas that have 5 acre tracts and others are going away, but you still need those larger lots because there's a lot of people coming to Pasco and people that are south of us or in some of these areas that are so busy that would rather have that acre lot. And that this will give them that opportunity. Ms. Starkey.
I don't even know where to begin. So some of the concerns that I have are septic. So I wouldn't want to see this whole area be on septic. But I think if you're a ½ acre or larger, right now you can put in septic. Is that correct?
No, these are acre lots. Septic and well.
I'm saying I don't want to see septic out there. I want Pasco County to get off of septic.
You're in high, dry areas. You're not in a low area where the septic would affect anything. These are not low areas.
I see water. I see rivers. I see water bodies out there.
These aren't. In this particular property is not around
and
the river.
I don't want to see any mountains sold or hills sold, like what Dade City is allowing, and what happened in
Claremont.
I can't remember the name of that.
Claremont.
Claremont. Yes. Oh, that was so crazy. And that's one of the things we put in the Northeast Rural Protection area, that you couldn't basically sell the mountains.
It also is in there that you can't run water lines or utilities across any of that land. You have to be septic and well.
Oh, well.
In the
when we
rural
get
area,
down,
that's what it says.
But I do believe in the density of the Lakuchi villages, because not everyone is going to be able to afford an acre piece of land. And so where are the workers going to be able to live? Because only the executives will be able to afford the 1 acre lots. Frankly, I think that you should be having some bigger lots and then some smaller density villages. But I'm not a planner, but I think Terry wants to say something, but it seems to me you need some density around that village center.
You're trying to get small lots back in an area which is rural.
No, I think in some areas,
lot.
You're going to need it to support the commercial and the retail.
The issue is workforce housing and housing around Lakuchi area.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's property around there that can be used for housing for the workers in that nature. So the others for executive housing. And we have a lot of people coming to Pasco that want more than just a 40-foot lot.
Yeah, but I think they should have more than 1 acre.
Well, I'm not stopping them from having more than 1 acre, but the minimum is 1 acre.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If I may. So the Greater Lakuchi Community Plan doesn't make any density prescriptions.
Okay.
Right? It's not declaring any sort of density ought to happen somewhere or not. What it is reflecting is the comprehensive plan, the existing densities that the comprehensive plan is already calling for. So I understood 2 things happening here. One is that the Greater Lakuchi, the Lakuchi area itself, the Chulpi-Lakuchi area, this area in the comprehensive plan has higher densities already identified for it.
Okay, so you can't take that away.
In the comp plan right now.
No, we're not taking that away.
Yeah. So out here you'll find a Res 9 or a Res 6 in these dotted area here, if you will. What I understood, Mr. Chairman, what I understood from your comments was that the 1 dwelling unit per acre was an idea for the eastern or western area here in the Catalyst area. That was my understanding of your comments.
Yes.
It wasn't an application
Okay.
in this area itself.
All right, so that can still survive.
This survives what you're
Financially.
looking for. There's R6, R9, and
Yeah.
and R3.
Well, that's what I was
in that
saying,
area,
around the village
but it's
center
still
over there,
Yeah.
you're gonna need something.
That is still there, because we have to have that for the people that work there. Yes.
And going back to the discussion about sending to the planning commission, you know, they volunteer their time. And I listen to every meeting and I value their comments. They have some very interesting discussions. This last meeting, they went in depth into the public utility, our utilities, and the availability of delivery, and they asked some great questions. So I value and respect their time, and they asked to see this again, so I'd be interested in having it go back. It's,
Yeah.
since they asked.
I personally, I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend time. We spent 2 years getting to here.
Well, we're not approving, we're not taking any action on this today,
No, we're
right?
not taking any action on it.
Yeah,
Other than
so-
the fact that I want to send it back to staff to relook at this, based on the comments I gave them. Yeah. But I mean, if we have something like that in the future that planning commission can really look at, and it be a binding, I'm okay with that. But not a non-binding agreement that.
Well, anything they do
You
is
can do all
non-binding.
that, you can do all that discussion you want to, it means nothing at the end of the day. It's wasting their time, so.
I'll move to accept the non-binding plan.
Do what now?
I'll move to accept the non-binding plan.
I thought there's no action.
No, we're
taken
no
on this.
action today. Yeah. Okay. So Terry, is it clear?
Well, so, I'm just curious of
Okay.
what the steps would be. Would we have a workshop to discuss this? Or are you gonna meet privately and then come around to each commissioner separately to see what?
I think they go back and look at it like I've asked them to, and they meet with every commissioner on this item prior to it coming back.
So what I think can potentially happen is we can provide the articulation that the chairman is looking for, and as he just suggested, come back to everyone individually and show the way forward.
Right. We spent 2 years on it. I mean, we're closer to an end than we are like we were, so.
So based on your agenda item, the motion was either accept the non-binding concept plan, but what I hear the chairman saying is the motion would be to send the non-binding concept plan back to planning department for the incorporation of the discussion that has occurred at today's board meeting.
Yeah.
So moved.
That sounds right, yeah. So I got a motion
Have a motion.
and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Who was the second?
Gary Brad.
Commissioner Brett.
Okay, thank you.
He raised his hand.
And so, all those in favor, oh, well, we did that, so, all right. It passed 5-0 to go back to staff. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
all right. Now we'll move on to,
Mr. Chair, do we need to do the addendum regular item 141 first? It was on the,
somebody.
Mr. Chairman, based on your morning schedule, I would recommend you do, you leave the land development code amendments for the afternoon, because it looks like that's what you're gonna do. You've got 47, 48, 50 has already been continued once. I
agree
think
with
some of the action items need to be taken up in the morning
Yes.
session.
I'd agree with that.
We've got bond counsel here for 48, so I would suggest that might
Yeah, and let them go before the rain starts.
That might be the
Well, I'm trying to
one we
get
take.
everything done before the rain starts. so.
Take up that one, get them out of here, and then go back to 47.
We're gonna do 48, 50, 47.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so do 48
the
now?
lawyer's suggestion, but.
I'm hearing your suggestion, so that's
all right, R48 then?
48.
R48.
Hello. Amy Farrell, Budget Director with the Office of Management and Budget. I'm here to present R48, which is a resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds, Series 2024A bonds, for fire rescue projects and improvements in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $9,618,581.30, and authorizing the delegation of authority for certain administrative matters to the county administrator or budget director related to the issuance of the general obligation bonds. This final tranche of the bonds will assist us with Station 19 rehab and expansion, and Stations 2 and 4, which are new builds. And just some important dates for you to know: January 18th, we're going to receive our bond ratings. On the 31st of January, we'll have our competitive sale to ensure we get the best possible interest rates in the current markets. And then on the 20th of February, we'll be pre-closing, and then closing will be right after that.
Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Godspeed.
Aye. Okay. Motion passed 5-0. And where are we going from here?
50 is the approval of the opioid treatment prevention recovery.
Okay.
What do you?
Go to R50.
Good morning, Commissioners. Paula Baracaldo, Director of Support Services and also Chair of the Opioid Task Force. Thank you for your time today. So before I begin, I really would like to recognize members of the Opioid Task Force that may be present here today, and also members of the community who have been serving the substance use disorder and mental health population of Pasco County for all of their work and support throughout this process. Without their help, this would not have been possible. So earlier today on C-44, you reappointed and appointed members of the Opioid Task Force. That's our current board list. And to make it quick, just for context, this is the process that we followed for year one of the allocation. So we received over $24 million in asks, 24 projects. So 12 of those were considered but not funded. 3 were rejected because they did not meet our recommendations, and we're recommending 9 for funding today. Over $8.4 million were available for that allocation, $898,000 from the city county fund, and $7.5 million and change from the regional fund. Out of those $7.5 million, $7.2 are going to be allocated to projects. Just so you know, this process has been completely publicly held. We held all of our meetings, selection, and recommendation processes, and all proposals could be either for an annual allocation or multi-year allocation up to 3 years. With the total combined allocation for this year, that leaves us with a contingency of $271,324.62. And from those projects that are being recommended for funding, we have the grand majority of them will be allocated towards services to our community. And just for background, this is just a gist of what each of those projects will cover, but it doesn't really do justice. We're going to be providing services to expectant mothers, to children, to the youth of our county, to veterans. We're going to be addressing the homeless population, providing transitional housing, mental health services, medically assisted treatment opportunities, peer recovery efforts. So this is really leveraging these dollars to better serve our community for a segment of the population that has not received a lot of that funding in the past. So we're very proud of this effort. And then 2 of those 9 recommended projects have capital aspects to it. The first one is Baycare, which I'd like to highlight. They're actually rebuilding a building that will provide for the first urgent care center. We believe this is the first model of its kind in the state of Florida, so extremely proud of that effort. That'll be an allocation of $484,000 from their full allocation, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then Steps to Recovery, which will expand their capacity. That project specifically will serve veterans in our community, and that's about $3 million. Just for the record, we will be providing the same requirements as with our CDBG projects, 30-year lien on those capital projects. And with that...
Paul, if you'd stand there for a second.
Absolutely.
Go back to that slide if you would. So I want to say I spent a good amount of time with staff Paul, your team were phenomenal going through it. Went down to visit at Baycare. The facility, they have this existing already. It's going to be a great time to revamp that building and go. Steps to recovery, and I see Marilyn made us in the back there. This is a lady, just so you know, her passion. I mean, she put her pension on the line to go help with this program. So what she's done to help our veterans is amazing. I also learned from talking with her that, different from what I was told from some coalition personnel from before, that I was told that our homeless veterans with the programs that were out there were pretty much taken care of. She has full confidence she can fill all her beds immediately. And I know, having a chance to talk to you, I was thinking about it last night as we're going to go through this whole thing. And maybe the 33 beds is good. So it's a one-story complex around, but maybe we should even take a look a little bit more about building maybe phase 1 and building the same 33 beds, but maybe on one side of it, go 2 stories up, and leave room for more expansion for later on, which will be a lot easier later. I'd also like to see us help build Baycare as a step to recovery. If there's any landscaping that's going to be done around the properties, that we use that tree mitigation fund and give them full access to putting a grant in for whatever they need for those as well. But I want to say, I'm thrilled with everything I've learned, everything the whole committee's done. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's a great step forward.
We appreciate that feedback. And so this is the total recommendation list, just so you can see the split between the city-county fund. And again, just a reminder, the city-county fund was fully expended, and the regional fund, we do have a small contingency for those capital projects. So unless there are any questions, I would be remiss if I don't mention our executive leadership team and their incredible support as well. The county attorney's office and the clerk's office, everybody that has been basically hands-on trying to make this happen for the last 2 years. So thank you very much. And with that, this is our recommendation for approval.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I am so excited about this list and what we're doing here. I just think it's fabulous. Commissioner, I do think 33 beds is a lot. So I would, want them to see how that goes. And hopefully, they're not there hopefully they're not there that long, and people are coming out and getting back into society. I did learn that Gulf Coast Family Jewish Services also has a residential treatment facility in my district. If you remember, it was where they were putting those kids that came into the country without parents years and years ago. And I wanted to point out that AmSkills partners with Steps to Recovery, and their clients who are looking for steady, meaningful employment do come through our program. So we're happy to partner with them, and I just think this is a fabulous list. When the CEO of Baycare had put, I think his name was Tommy back then, had put together a group. It was Polk, Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas County civic and business leaders a number of years ago to discuss how to handle this. This was the recommendation that came out. I think it came out of with me and Sheriff Nacco, that we thought something like this, what Baycare is doing, would be a great first step to help with this opioid problem. And I am really excited about these projects, and I absolutely 100% want to make the motion to approve this list.
Okay. A little more discussion? So part of the reason I brought the idea up, when I asked...
There's a motion.
I'll second the motion with further discussion.
Okay.
All right. So in talking with Marilyn from Steps to Recovery, I mean, the program they have helps you get started. You can build in and get on your feet and go. And that was, my thought was initially going down to see and talk, was like, from what I was told, without that veteran issue that was there, as far as so many veterans out there that are homeless, when I asked her the question, it really took me back when I asked her, if these aren't filled by veterans, are you going to be able to bring other people in from the outside? And she had like no doubt in her mind that she was going to be able to fill those beds. So at some point, we'll run through those veterans, et cetera. But literally, at the property they've got, it's a virgin piece of land. It squares all the way around. And I think that, what we're doing is a great step forward. I think it's also something for Baycare and for them. We actually should even go talk to the state about trying to get some of the money they have and try to get them more money to go build us more. Because if you can get someone out of the streets, start from one from the other, and you get them a place to like gradually build up on their own to where they can actually save money, get their lives back together and come forward. 33 beds is great, but if we can do more, so be it. I'd love to take a look at it. There's state money that could, and we say we've committed to this on our own, and we can reach out to the state, and I'd be happy to go up there with you, Marilyn, and try to get that. If we can keep that open mind to it, I think it's an opportunity worth looking at. That's all. But again, it's only because of what I was told, and it was told differently from the coalition, how big the problem is. There's still a lot of veterans out there that need our help, and I think it's a great way to move it forward. I want to try to do help fundraising with them as well. Yeah.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Great job.
47. All right, move on to 47. There she comes.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Carrie Roberts, Purchasing Director for Pasco County. I'm here to present R47, which is the RFP DS076 Construction Manager at Risk, or CMOR projects for ongoing projects. Okay. The background of the RFP is the intent was to contract with one or multiple construction managers at risk, or CMARs, for the construction or renovation of numerous projects throughout the county. The CMARs will function as the general contractor responsible for supervising bidding trade contracts, all scheduling, coordination of projects, and the successful, timely, and economical completion of each project. The selected CMARs will provide any necessary pre-construction services and construction services pursuant to an acceptable and contractually guaranteed GPM, or general guaranteed maximum price. The background of the RFP is we have divided the projects into 4 groupings based on the project type. So we call them groups A, B, C, and D. The intent is to choose a CMAR firm or firms to be assigned to each of the groupings. The firms were evaluated on all groups or the individual groups as they requested and they submitted. The county may award one firm for all groups, one firm to multiple groups, or one firm for each group, as the county reserves the right to add or subtract projects as needed to these group packages. The total estimated budget for all the projects is $246 million. For Group A, this was an estimated $90 million. It included the Public Works or Fleet Nottingham facility, which is an estimated $60 million. It's currently under design, and the project will house numerous different departments in an 80,000 square foot facility. Group A also included the villages of Pasadena Hills Park, an estimated $30 million. The design is scheduled for 2024. It includes a large district park that will encompass sports fields and a gymnasium, and the pre-construction services may also be requested for this project. The Group B was an estimated $64 million and included Fire Station 9, 2, and 4 for an estimated $28 million. The designs are complete and will only need construction CMAR services. Fire Station 19 is a 4-bay, 2-story station at 1,750 square feet, and Fire Stations 2 and 4 are single stories at 16,300 square feet with 4 bays. Fire Station number 1 is also a $9 million project. The design is currently in progress. It requires only construction CMAR services, and it's also a single-story bay with 1,600 square feet. Fire Station 5 is an estimated $12 million, and it's a fire station in the vicinity of the Tampa Premium Outlet area. And then there's also a fire rescue training center for an estimated $15 million for Group B. Group C is mostly libraries and parks. So the Wesley Chapel Library is an estimated $7 million. That's a new library facility. It's currently in permitting. Hudson Library is an estimated $6.5 million. It's the complete renovation of the county's existing facility. The design for the project will commence in 2024. The Anclote River Park is an estimated $15 million. It's the complete renovation and reimagining of the county's current facility to include new buildings, docks, parking, and boat ramps. The design is currently in progress. The PSO fleet, which is an estimated $15 million, is the replacement of the fleet facility for PSO at the Land O'Lakes Public Safety Complex. The County Fleet Central, it's estimated $12 million, is the new central fleet facility at the Land O'Lakes Public Safety Complex. And lastly, a records warehouse of an estimated $22 million. It's a 50,000 square foot hardened facility to house all county's vital records in the Land O'Lakes Public Safety Complex. Group D is an estimated $37 million. It's the Utilities Administration expansion, which is estimated at $10 million. It expands the current facility to include an environmental lab, additional parking space, and additional office space and additional parking. The utilities east and west, which is an estimated 15 for east and 5 million for west. It's the east and west maintenance facilities to house office space, storage space, warehouse space, and laydown yards. It also has a facilities management central office for an estimated of 7 million for office and warehouses to house facilities management central, design complete, and is in the permitting process, and it will be construction-only CMAR efforts. For the RFP, we had 16 firms respond. There were 2 firms as listed that are local in Pasco County. There were 12 firms as listed that are regional in the Hillsborough, Pinellas, Polk, or Hernando County area, and then 2 of the 16 did not have a local preference at all. The award recommendation from the evaluation committee included Group A to Wharton Smith, Group B to Wharton Smith, Group C to Bandy's Construction, and Group D to Wharton Smith as well. The committee's recommendation is that you accept the evaluation committee's recommendations and approve the award of RFP DS 23076 for construction manager at risk relating to ongoing projects to the following responsive and responsible contractors by designated project grouping. Groups A, B, and D to Wharton Smith, and Group C to Bandy's Construction. And also to authorize the chairman to execute the 4 originals of the agreements provided and direct board records to distribute sets forth under the distribution section. We also have an alternate action should the board wish to consider. The first is to accept the evaluation committee's recommendations to award Group C to Bandy's and direct the chairman to execute the 2 originals of the agreements provided and direct board records to distribute, and reject the evaluation committee's recommendation to award Groups A, B, and D to Wharton Smith, and either proceed with A, direct the evaluation committee to reconvene and go back to reconsider the awards of Group A, B, and D, while considering the top-ranked firms for each group as shortlisted on 9/7 of 23, allowing only 1 award per ranked firm. Group A was ranked as number 1, Wharton Smith, number 2, Ajax Building Company, and number 3 was Creative Contractors. Group B was first ranked Wharton Smith, second ranked Ajax Building, and Group D was first ranked Wharton Smith, second ranked Ajax Building, and third ranked Creative Contractors. An additional recommendation could be, alternate would be to reject the evaluation committee's recommendations to A, B, and D, and direct staff to resolicit groups A, B, and D with solicitation instructions that a firm may only be awarded 1 project per group. Or the final alternative would be to reject the evaluation committee's recommendations for all 4 groups and direct staff to resolicit all 4 groups with solicitation instructions that a firm may only receive 1 award per group.
Okay.
That is the end of the presentation, and I take any questions.
Ms. Starkey?
I guess I want to have 2 different conversations. One, when I heard that 75% of the project went to 1 company, I wasn't okay with that. When I was on the school district board, on the school board, you know, we divided it up and you could bid on 1 section. We didn't give 75 to 100% to 1 company. I think that's dangerous for us, whether the company says they can handle it or not. So I would probably recommend 1, put that, the one where it gets distributed a little more. I think it's 1A. 1A. I don't want to have them go back, except that it just came to my mind, I'm sorry I didn't have this discussion with you yesterday, that when we were shown that master plan of the Land O'Lakes complex, I was not okay with it. And I asked it to be redone and reimagined instead of just plopping a building down here and there. It just had no, I didn't think it was a very good land plan. So in approving this, are we going with that land plan that we asked you guys to come back to us with? I mean, we asked for that plan to be redone. And I don't recall ever seeing an approved plan.
You're referring to the facilities master plan for the
Yes.
Land O'Lakes
Yes.
land area? I mean, I think there's a handful of projects if we go back.
Yes, there's quite a few that say Land O'Lakes.
Let's see.
I believe it's the...
So it's not Group A.
Nope.
It's not Group B. So let's
Group
pause
G.
here. I think it was D.
Is the expansion of the administration complex.
I see C, I see Fleet Central,
The last 3.
Records Warehouse,
And then D.
Utilities administration would be on the footprint of the existing facility. And I don't know, Eric, if you could speak to the facilities office.
did we give that to someone to redo the layout the thought of how different buildings connected to each other and made a cohesive office park rather than just plopping things here and there?
So I don't think the facilities has presented the current layout of the master plan for word for the board to comment on. However, based on that note, we've not gone through and redesigned what each individual board member has been briefed on.
Each what? I can't hear you.
Each individual board member has been briefed on. Sorry for the record, Eric Reichenbach, Assistant County Administrator. On this slide, the only project between groups B and C, the only projects that have funding associated with them is that facilities management central office, which is out of the way, not the central area of the campus plan, as currently constructed.
Well, I think it's really important because when we build public infrastructure, it's going to be there for generations, and that we do a good job of laying it out. You know, when you're at our offices and you see people walking at lunch break, they're walking through the parking lot. There's no place for them to get out of the office and go have a meal anywhere on that campus. It's so poorly laid out. So I don't want to repeat the mistakes that we have, and I just think we can do a better job on that layout. I'm not against building these buildings at all. Let's just make sure we're building something we'll be proud of that will last for generations and will grow well.
Okay.
So, but I would like to see 1A.
If I may, approving these, this is a contract vehicle to accomplish the projects. It's not locked into the location and/or size or cost of the facilities that are shown in these.
Okay, but my motion is 1A.
I've got another discussion matter, so, Mr. Waitman?
Thank you, Chair Oakley. I'm comfortable, so we had a road contractor that failed epically, and no fault of the counties, but they were awarded a bulk projects, and it was just a mess for a long time, and we had to go out and find it, well, not county, but county went and worked with state partners to find help, get the projects done. And that's a recent real life example of putting all your eggs in one basket. So, you know, out of abundance of caution, I think I'm more comfortable with 1A as well. So I'll second Commissioner Starkey's motion.
Mr. Chairman, thanks, and I agree, we shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket. I mean, Wilton Smith must have done a great job presenting, but I know the other firms behind it are top quality as well. In looking at it, what I was looking at was in 1A, if you want to separate it out, I would put Wharton Smith with the first. I would then take Ajax on number 2, Bandy's to where they won theirs, and on the 4th one, I would then go with CCI. And that would separate all 4 to get a piece of the action, but at the same time, if one of them does fail, it'd be a lot easier to pull one of them back in to go do the other work.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
rather than
Yes.
board ranking, I would go with the motion that is there and send it back to the evaluation committee so that they can look at Group A, Group B, Group D, and delve out the work, rather than
us do it.
us, you do it.
So which one is that?
That's the one that Commissioner Starkey made the motion and
The
Commissioner Waitman.
1A?
1A, which is Group A, Group B, and Group D go back to the evaluation committee. Those are ranked. Group C stays with Bandy's because that was the only one we got.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, are they evenly divided out financially? Or would you want to redo that mix of what's in a group? I don't know what made you pick what was in what group, you know?
They were grouped by similar projects, and so the fire station's all together, the library's all together.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So I have
You
a
know,
motion and a
speaking of
second.
what you were saying about the road, look at my fire station 17.
There's another one, thank you.
Okay, so I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, like sign. Motion passed 5-0. Okay.
Thank you.
It's noon time. We will adjourn at this time and move into, we're getting our pictures taken here this morning. before our lunch. And then we'll be back here at 1:30 to start the public hearing. All right? Thank you.
It's about blowing and raining, so this is just the natural.
For you to sign.
Waterways and wildlife depend on you to keep them healthy. Excess fertilizer, grass clippings, trash, oils, and pet waste wash into gutters and storm drains when it rains. Stormwater carries these pollutants directly into our lakes and rivers, creating an unhealthy environment for fish, waterfowl, and other aquatic animals. Storm drains are meant for clean rainwater. Most other discharges are illegal. If you suspect an illicit discharge, please contact Pasco County Department of Public Works at 727-834-3611.
Oftentimes when you find a loose or a lost dog, they're not abandoned. They're close to their home. Almost 80% of stray dogs live within a mile of where they were found. Did you know the best thing you can do for a dog that's lost or stray like this one is to keep it in the area in which it was found? Only 25 to 30% of stray dogs that come to the shelter actually get returned to its owner. And there's so much you can do to get little ones like this home. You can connect with your neighbors via social media, hang up posters in your neighborhood with the dog's picture, or even check door to door. If you haven't found the owner right away, don't worry, it might take a couple days. Some dogs have identification on them like licenses, tags, collars, or even microchip implants. You can check at your local veterinary clinic or pet store where the dog can get scanned for the owner's information. You can help get friendly, healthy stray dogs back to their homes by following these few simple tools. And remember, always report aggressive, sick, or injured animals to animal services right away.
If you qualify as a special needs client, your emergency Go Kit should include everything you need to maintain your care regimen and optimal health. This includes all your medications. Once a disaster is declared, Floridians may obtain an extra prescription refill even if you have recently filled it. That's important since you should bring 10 days of medications to the shelter. Ideally, bring the original pill bottle since it has your name, the prescription number, the medication name and dosage, as well as the names of both the pharmacy and your physician. If you need special food or medical supplies, bring those with you. Have enough oxygen to get you to and from the shelter safely, and don't forget, bring your concentrator or nebulizer. While packing, grab your glasses, hearing aid, and batteries, wound care supplies, prosthetics, walker or wheelchair, along with a pair of socks and closed-toe shoes. It's very important to carry copies of contact information with you